Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Loan Officer Marketing Podcast. Hold on to your earbuds because today we have Christian Groomes, who last year was number three in the make sure I get this right, the top non-QM volume on the Scotsman's Guide, number three. And Christian, we are honored to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to joining you today.
That's amazing. So, the year before, you were actually in the Scotsman's Guide as one of the top emerging stars, and ranking really quick. Interested, want me to ask is like, where do you get the majority of your business from? What's the thing that really moves the needle to bring customers in the door?
Um, I mean, I appreciate the kind words about those awards, and I will just truly say that a lot of that is word of mouth. A lot of that is referrals, and some of that can come off as easier said than done. But in this space of real estate and also mortgages, you know, all you have to do is do what you say you're going to do. And people are going to repeat your name, or, within all of these different circles, your name's going to keep coming up of, hey, I need a loan on an investment property, or I need a loan to build a house, or whatever the case is. you know, Everybody is going to just keep repeating your name. And obviously you have to network. We all know that. But when you are working with folks and folks who love working with you, it's saying, hey, do you know a friend or another investor or anybody that I could help out as well? And it's asking for that referral. But more times than not, you will find that by doing the right thing and helping folks out, those referrals will naturally come. And, to me,
Hmm.
that's how I've been able to grow, different clientele and relationships in geographic regions that, I may have not known that I was going to be able to touch.
That is amazing. And um, through the process of like actually delivering the loan, do you have set points in the process where you ask for referrals? Do you ask for the referrals before the deal closes, or is it only after the deal closes? What does that look like?
A lot of times, I would typically wait until the deal closes. But
Yep.
it's just kind of, I would say, similar to the car buying process of, you want to find that moment to when the customer is happy, right?
Yeah.
Um, because when you go through the closing process, sometimes it's not always the easiest or the smoothest. We all know that. But you want to find a moment where they're the happiest. And
Yep.
you can always throw that plug in there when that time is, when they present that, or you see a tone, or, oh my gosh, thank you so much. The loan's funded, you know, but you also don't want to come off as aggressively selling either.
Yep.
So it's all about understanding your audience, understanding the moment and the time, and saying, hey, when they're happy, like, I'd love to help other people out if you know that I can do the same, just like I did for you.
Yep. So, Christian, do you use the same script every time when you're asking for the business, or do you kind of tailor it for each individual situation that you're in?
No, I mean, that's going to always vary. You've got to really know who you're dealing with, how to talk to them. I mean, because from, I hate to say it, from geographic region to geographic region, clients may talk to you differently.
Yep.
Or, whoever you're speaking to, you've got to understand and, maybe get to know them, of how they're actually interacting with you. And it's all about just being aware of those situations. And when you're aware of that, you will actually really know when the best time is to do that and how to do it, how to phrase it. I mean, every person probably could be different, but you can have a very similar way of doing that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's like you have a framework for doing it, but it's not like you have to remember the words every single time in order to
Yeah.
actually ask for the business. That's super valuable. Now, you mentioned the process and having a referable process, like bringing people through, and they have such an incredible, it's a referable experience. The experience that you're providing for people is so incredible. So, can you talk to me a little bit about how you went about building that process? Like, what has been the evolution in your business to creating that process that is referable, and what does it look like?
This is gonna sound crazy, but it's really not that hard when you boil it down to a few things. Um, I have a 3-ring rule with my phone. I will answer the phone within 3 rings.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and if I'm on a call or on the phone, I will text that person and say, "Hey, I'll call you once I get off the phone."
Yep.
Um, and same thing, if I'm in a meeting and somebody texts me, I said, "Hey, I'll call you or text you once I'm out of this meeting." Same thing with emails. If you're unavailable or you see an email come through, maybe just hit them back and say received. I will review and follow up with you ASAP. Now, all of that being said, it's it's about making the customer feel like they're the most important at that time.
Yep.
And even though you're possibly unavailable to review some documents they sent over or answer the phone because you're on the phone or in a meeting, they can see that, hey, they are responding to me. Now, taking it one step further, when you do all of this, you're going to start to see more looks of deals.
Right.
And when you start to see more looks of deals, that's going to lead to more leads, to more originations. And because you're responding so fast and so efficiently to folks, you, all of that is going to just drastically increase. And I mean, I've been told many times that, hey, you got this loan because you responded first. Like
Yep.
maybe they sent it out to 5 different people. Well, I mean, I will be the first one to respond. I can guarantee you that. Um, but it's all about being quick. And
Yep.
this is a game of real estate and mortgages that it moves fast and rates are always changing, programs are always changing. So, you need to be able to act fast to be able to help those clients. And if they're shopping it, maybe it's the person who responds the first.
Yep. I saw a stat the other day. I think it was 87% of mortgages fund with the first borrower they talk to, which
Hmm.
is lender that they talk to. They're the borrower. We're the lender. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Christian, what's your opinion on like call answering services, or one of the things that we've just implemented in the last month in us having this conversation is, so we have AI voice agents. So we've been doing text messaging and email using AI for close to a year. And we finally just turned it on where people can call the phone number, AI picks up the phone, so nobody ever goes to voicemail. There's never a missed text message. Like, truly, your gut. Like, what is your opinion on that type of technology stepping in and helping with that?
Now, I think that with some form of AI and I guess automation, there is ways that can be used and should be used within these parts of the processes. Um, I guess it just truly depends how it's being used, and I'm very interested to see that because my personal thoughts are that that person or that client probably wants a personal touch.
Yep.
So, and you can see all these reviews with mortgage loan originators, like they're actually talking about maybe the process or the team that they worked with, and specifically calling out individuals. Um, Now, the only thing I might ask is, does that pull away that personal touch? So I think that it can be used and it are, in some ways, like automated text messages are being used with maybe process updates of where the loan is, like, hey, your appraisal's back, it's under review, or, title's in, we got insurance, you're almost clear to close. So there are ways that it could and should be used, but I think that as long as we still have that personal touch, there's many ways that it should be used.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And so your feedback there is so insightful and valuable because we launched the voice AI as a like a customer service agent. So it picks up the phone, immediately identifies itself as AI. So, hey, this is Chris Johnstone's AI. We weren't able to pick up the phone, but I'm here to answer any questions that you have and make sure that you're at the front of the line. And what that's doing is it's transcribing the conversation, sending it to you in email so you can see exactly why the person called, what they were looking for. It can do a live call transfer to somebody on your team if they need to or whatever. But then we set up a text message and it's from you and it waits a couple of minutes so that it feels natural, but then it's like, hey, it's Christian. I saw that you had a conversation with our AI, just checking in, and I wanted to let you know I'm going to give you a call shortly. I'm in a meeting, but I'll get back to you. So it's like they get the personal touch, but they also get the instant communication right up front. So we're always the first conversation to answer, but then there's the personal touch that goes behind it. So
Yeah. No, I like that. I mean, as long as those clients feel that their needs are being taken care of, that's all that matters.
yeah, well said. Very well said. Okay, so process, you get the majority of your business from referrals. What about real estate agents? Do you do a lot of networking with real estate agents? What does that look like in your business?
So, being in the mostly, I guess you'd say, investor focused world, which is really all we do, um, you know, a lot of the referrals don't come from agents, believe it or not, or we don't,
Oh,
yes, we work with agents, just through transactions, but, we don't work with them a ton, in terms of referrals, or even just because these investors, could be the agent sometimes as well. So that's another scenario, but they're not as part of the overall process like they are on a, let's say, a conventional loan.
yep.
So when, mortgage loan originators on the conventional side are deeply ingrained in networking with um, agents, I'm probably more focused on the investors
Yep.
and who do they know in their different markets. And at the same time, some of those investors could be agents. So, and it also probably, I focus more on property management companies, over real estate agents, because property management companies manage rentals for investors. So they have the ideal clients that I want to be working with.
That makes so much sense. That's awesome. And are you also looking at like the real estate investment network and like more of like I don't want to call it an influencer, but there's so many people that have communities of investors that are sharing deals. Like, are you doing a lot of networking in that way as well?
Yeah, a lot of that could be different social media groups
Mm-hmm.
online, a lot of Facebook groups. And it's, people are asking questions of, hey, I got this rate sheet from a lender, what does everybody think? And in those groups, it's not all about blasting your
Yep.
product out, and selling your product, um, but more so coming up with ways you can help them.
Yep.
Of, maybe they're having trouble on a loan, that maybe you're not financing, and if you can be there as a solution to help them, they're gonna wait. They're gonna come back and say, "Hey, wait, you helped me on this issue I had last time. Wait, can you help me on this new loan?"
Yep.
So they're gonna remember that you helped them, rather than going in those networks and just trying to sell, 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 sell. That's not always gonna help, rather than truly trying to build relationships. And in my honest opinion, you don't have to sell if you have the relationships.
Yeah, I could not agree more. They do the selling for you, and the selling is your effective process. You get deals done. You communicate effectively. It's like because you're doing a phenomenal job, people can sell you because you have a referable process.
That's
Um,
exactly it.
how did you decide to go niche based and decide that like, hey, investors is the way that I'm going to go? Because I'm assuming you got into the mortgage industry being able to choose from all of the different products and go down the traditional route. How did you end up in the niche that you're in?
That's how I ended up in it. I couldn't tell you how to underwrite a conventional loan. That's all I know is investment focused loans. And it's truly what I love,
Mm,
because not only are we providing financing for investors, but we're also providing financing and just completely changing communities in many different ways. It could be taking a house that's condemned and providing the financing on a house that a bank wouldn't finance to now make it a house that's a family can live in.
right.
So, also providing 30-year DSCR loans for rental properties to have, it's a loan for a client, but they're also now supplying housing for tenants
Yep.
across the country, and you're supplying housing in that way. Same thing of I work with a lot of builders, and they're building houses wherever they're building, if they're selling them or if they're renting them. They're providing a house maybe for a first time home buyer and their family. So many different ways, because you get to see how people are changing communities in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And that's what I love seeing, the end product of the financing that we provided. And, by doing that, we effectively are an extension of our client's business.
Yep.
We are an integral part of their scalability, and we're a partner there to help them grow.
That is amazing. And Christian, I mean, thank you so much for being so generous with your time. One last question, or actually two, but the second one's super quick. Um, what do you do for your database marketing? Being that the majority of your database is going to be investors, is it education based? Like, how are you keeping in touch with the database to get as many referrals as possible?
It's truly educational based, and like I want them to know, how we can help them continue to grow, and then how we can also help other investors like them continue to maybe buy their first
Yeah.
investment property. Because a lot of folks maybe could be scared to try it or to get into it. So it's also, it's making them feel comfortable, giving them the warm fuzzy of, hey, these are the guys that I want to be working with. And, it's all about trust at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah, I could not agree more. And do you have a cadence to it? Like, do they hear from you like once a week, once a month? Do you have a process that you use?
It depends on the type of client, but I would say anywhere between every other week to monthly.
Yeah, amazing. That's fantastic. And are you calling or just emailing?
Both.
Both. Fantastic. That is awesome. Final question. How do people learn about you and the business and how you might be able to help them with what they're looking for?
Yeah. So if anybody is an investor needing any loan for a fix and flip loan, a DSCR, a bridge, or you're building a house ground up construction, feel free to shoot me an email. My email is cgroomes. That's CGROOMES at pkcapitalteam.com.
That is awesome. And we will have that all in the show notes for the show today. Christian, again, thank you for being so generous with your time and thank you for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And to all of our wonderful listeners, if that's not worth a thumbs up and a share on social media, I don't know what is. Don't forget, hit us with a 5-star rating and review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And we will see you in the next episode.